Hope you're all having a good day, and hopefully I don't bore you too much with my talk. So, Farid din al-Attar, a 13th century Sufi poet, wrote a mystical poem called The Conference of the Birds. Who here is familiar with The Conference of the Birds? Raise your hand. Yeah, so a lot of you are. It's a story about the journey of the soul to enlightenment. The story begins with the birds of the world gathering to decide on who is going to be their king. And the wisest bird, Hoopoe, suggests that the birds find the legendary Simurgh and offers to be their guide on the journey. In order to find the Simurgh, each bird must cross through 7 distinct valleys, each with their own challenges and moral teachings. As the birds pass through the different valleys, many simply give up, finding it too difficult to carry on. Soon after, those birds who are unable to complete the journey only saw it as a personal one and took it on solely for personal gain. And by the end of the journey, out of the thousands and thousands of birds that started off together, only 30 remain, each representing a human flaw that prevents man from enlightenment. Flaws which, when assimilated with all of their individual strengths, actually allowed them to complete the journey together. After arriving at their destination, the birds realized that there's actually no such bird called the Simurgh, and that the entire time they had journeyed to themselves, encountering challenges, their own fears, and most importantly, one another. And all of their experiences influenced their capacities to contribute to the journey, helping each other to find purpose and ultimately attain enlightenment. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a similar journey I'm on, one in which I have realized that I'm not alone. A journey preceded by and filled with encounters, and I'm sure that many of you here today are on a similar one as well. A journey also in which your success would not be possible without the unconditional love and support that you receive from every single individual that surrounds you. The first people you meet in this world are your family. They love you, they nurture you, and they support you so that you can be the best that you can be. But remember, they also have a history. And let me start with my maternal grandparents. They moved across continents to ensure the safety and the success of their children, from leading a pretty comfortable lifestyle back in East Africa to having to flee persecution and work tirelessly as a parking lot attendant and a nanny here in Canada. My mother, she stood on the shoulders of her parents and worked hard to make sure that she made the most of every opportunity they had provided her. She eventually went on to graduating from nursing school at McMaster's University and now works today at the BC Cancer Agency, continuing to transform the lives of her patients every day. On a similar note, my paternal grandparents demonstrated a similar ethic of altruism towards my father. And as a result, you could say my parents were pretty much set for life. But instead, they decided to sacrifice their own comfort so that my brother and I would be able to enjoy opportunities that they never had. Opportunities such as organized sports. Many of you here do Model United Nations, which I'm heavily involved in. And also international traveling, and there's so much more. As kids, we often take these opportunities for granted and don't realize that they have actually taken generations of hard work and sacrifice. Sorry, those are my parents. And so, who here is familiar with Genghis Khan? Yeah? So I'm assuming, I'm assuming many of you probably know him as a fierce warrior who established one of the largest empires in history. But did you know that it was his experiences with poverty, death, grief, having to always fight for his life, and his encounters with his mother, wife, kinsmen, and those whom he encountered, that literally made him the person who he was? His descendants went on to further expand the Mongolian Empire, leading to the flourishing of later equally rich and pluralistic empires that continue to influence the world in a huge way today. Rulers of the Mongolian Empire realized the levels of success they did, not only because of their own efforts, but because of the efforts and the achievements and experiences of the preceding rulers, going back all the way to Genghis Khan. And did you know that every day of the year, around 40 of Genghis Khan's descendants celebrate their birthday? That just shows how much history can be behind a single individual. Just like Hupo created the opportunity for a journey for the birds, Genghis Khan and his descendants required their families to do the same. And in my case, my parents have created the opportunity for my journey, but they can't be the ones taking it on for me. What they can do is they can accompany me and ensure that I have many others alongside me as well. It is important to recognize those who play significant roles in your lives, but I have to admit that I haven't always done so myself. At times, we may feel as if we are alone in this world, but often forget that just like the birds in the story, there are so many others flying alongside us as well. And I had this realization at a camp last year. I'll have a little slide presentation playing for you, so hopefully it's not too distracting. So last year, I went to Global Encounters, an international camp for Smiley youth focused on service, leadership development, and global citizenship. At this camp, I met people from 18 different countries from all around the world who not only changed my worldview, but the way I understand myself. At Global Encounters, I also had the opportunity to participate in a local service project at a government school with my fellow participants. We were challenged to come up with an initiative to carry out at this government school. So I went in thinking that I had to make some significant impact that was sustainable. But instead, I came out realizing that more importantly, I had made meaningful and lasting friendships, which made me realize that I came into the service project with the completely wrong mindset. I looked around the school, I was looking at what was wrong with the school, what needed fixing, but to the kids at the school, they had an education, and that in itself was a privilege. Then this also made me realize that the students at these schools, they were just looking to be around people who cared. So in a way, simply caring, listening, and interacting can have profound impacts. And this goes far beyond family. So not only do my parents support me, but they have created an opportunity for me to have a whole group of other people supporting me as well. So in a way, it really does take a village to raise a child, in that we all learn from each other as we cross paths on our individual journeys. Delivering a commencement speech at MIT in 1994, His Highness the Aga Khan said, "The encounters that interest me are not so simple. In the encounters of people and cultures, much depends on the path that each has taken to that point. The subjects have histories. This shows that we are influenced by all of those whom we encounter across our journeys, not only as individuals, but as societies." Just like the birds in the journey, I'm pretty sure that all of us, we are all aiming to become more, to reach higher. In this journey of life, there will always be points where we'll simply want to stop, give up, and go no further. But just remember that there will always be others willing to lend you a helping hand and take you out of the world's deepest valleys and help you climb the world's tallest summits. My challenge to you is not only to recognize the roles others have played in your lives, but to demonstrate your gratitude to those who have lent you a helping hand, to those who have helped you reach higher, by doing the same for others. This talk is to acknowledge all those who have been on my journey, those who have come before me, whom I have not met, those who are here with me right now, like all of you here today, and those still to come. I want to express my gratitude by acknowledging my friends, my families, my mentors, even those who have supported me without me knowing, and those who have supported me directly and indirectly. By helping others and being open to support from anybody, regardless of their age, whether old or young, we will always be able to go further, to reach higher, and realize our dreams. Helping one person, as all of you may know, is not going to change the world. But think of it, helping one person can change the world for that individual. And I know that my world has been changed. Thank you very much, everybody. My name is Faaiz Walji. I come as one, but I stand as 10,000.